In this video, we're comparing the latest generation of iOS 18 Apple CarPlay against Android's latest Coolwalk interface to see who really does make the best mobile auto interface experience for navigation, music listening, and etc. So let's start off with layout. As confusing it may look like, I personally enjoy the layout of Android's Coolwalk because right here we have the large portion of our map, which we're using Google Maps right now, and over here we have our For You suggestions. But if you look closely, you can actually switch between some of your previously used music listening apps like Spotify, but if I tap Google Music or YouTube Music, we can also monitor our stuff right here, and it quickly transitions to this nice seamless animation. And then once I want to get back to my maps, I just tap on it and it swaps out like so. But then you can actually add custom wallpapers for your backdrops for your app library. You see, this is the same wallpaper I have on my device right here. So technically, this does give you a lot more customization abilities than it does on CarPlay, as you're going to soon see. But nonetheless, your recently opened apps will be located on the side here. Your multi-window selector tools located here. And on top, you can actually tap on it right above here to see your phone notifications exactly. A feature that you can't really do on the CarPlay. And you clear all right here as well. But then you have your phone status, battery status, your cellular status, and the current time. Now for CarPlay. By tapping here, of course, it'll take you to your home page. We are on iOS 18, so if you go into settings, you do have wallpaper capability, but you are unable to use your current custom wallpaper of your choice like we were able to do on Android side, which is unfortunate. But some of these are actually really nice and pretty to look at, like this one for instance. But again, you can always download this and install it on Android. So Android definitely does beat CarPlay in terms of its compatibility, its customization ability, but this layout does look more elegant in a sense. But unfortunately, you only have your 3 most used apps over here. No notification stats, so that text message I received early, it's gone. The only way I could tell that I had a notification is to actually look at my Messenger app. Don't worry, those are all a bunch of spams, and you can get through them and delete them all. It's really annoying. But you have to rely on the little red dot bubble to see your notification, unfortunately, over here. So immediately I have to give the point to Android. It is more customizable. Now when it comes to its virtual voice assistant, yes, on iOS 18 you do get this cool Apple Intelligence animation, and something does tell me that once the official release of iOS 18 Apple Intelligence gets released, it probably will be the ultimate virtual voice assistant available in the market. So until then, I'm working with what I have so far and what I've experienced. And then on the Android side, since you have the capability to switch your virtual voice assistant of your choice, you can probably get but for this video, I'm going to stick with the default Google virtual voice assistant. And between these two, I gotta say that the Android side is more pleasant to use. Because on Siri will randomly suggest random things or tell you different things when you just want a quick short answer. For instance, if you request it to give you directions to a nearby McDonald's, it's gonna do that. He'll give you the list, but we'll also talk about its Yelp reviews. Where it was Android, it would just give me the dead-on answer that I'm looking for without having some weird conversation going on. So to demonstrate, let me go ahead and launch it. Nearest McDonald's. See, immediately starts it. Now let me switch to iOS and show you. So let's go ahead and do CarPlay now. Nearest McDonald's.
One possibility is McDonald's on CR, E3 in Loomis. Less than a half mile to your east and it gets 2 stars on Yelp. Is that the one you're looking for?
That's what I mean. It doesn't mean oh, here's the nearest McDonald's. Like my request that I originally asked for. So Android does win that part. Now when it comes to notifications, again, like I previously showed you, with CarPlay, your text notification will pop up, and that's basically it. You're going to have to actually manually switch to this page to really see what notifications you recently missed in case you were driving, you were merging on a freeway, you're just being a good driver and you don't have time to see what popped up. Well, with the Android side, if you miss those type of notifications, it will actually be pushed onto the top right corner. So once it's safe and clear for you to take your eyes back on the screen, you can see that text message you might have missed from a recent sender and reply to them when you have the chance. So I personally do prefer that easier method than relying on these red bubbles, so Android does get that point as well. Now games. Android Auto does actually support video games, little mini on-screen head unit games you can use, especially if you have kids, because your kid could be on your lap while the other one's on the passenger side playing these little mini games while you're on your phone. It's a great entertainment source. Apple CarPlay, they don't have any games whatsoever. So Android does feature some cool little mini mobile games for you and your kids could play while you're waiting in the car. But when it comes to accessibilities, Apple wins hands down, because on the Android side, there's no support for like really helpful accessibilities. Because on the Apple side, you can enable it so the vehicle could identify sirens or car horns. So if you have a hard time of hearing, there's this aid of assistant you can enable, which will pop up a little notifications when the unit hears sirens. Or there also is a color filter option as well, in case you're colorblind, you can enable. Works extremely well if you wear polarized glasses as well, polarized sunglasses. But you can enable it, change the radius, the intensity. It gives you all that freedom right here. It even has the ability to bolden up the text so you can read things easier. So CarPlay definitely is more user-friendly in case you have a disability. But overall, for my general conclusion, what I've concluded is Android, you have a lot of freedom. Apple, it's a gorgeous unit. Don't get me wrong, this head unit's absolutely gorgeous, amazing, really simple use. I feel confident that an elderly person can easily use CarPlay than they can use Android Auto. But Android Auto clearly gives you more freedom. Meanwhile, Apple CarPlay, Apple clearly likes to keep things simple to use, less is more vibe, and a clean layout overall. Feel free to comment down below what do you think about these two units and which one you personally use, especially if you have the option of using both occasionally. I have a work phone, it happens to be Android, so I have the freedom to switch between one versus the other. So other than that, there you guys have it. That's the comparison between CarPlay as well as Android Auto. Comment down below your thoughts and I'll be sure to share my thoughts down there too. Thank you so much for watching.